I have a new phone, so I'm going to start doing some videos with this phone. I'm going to do a bunch of short videos. Today I'm going to read from the Lost Scriptures, books that did not make it into the New Testament by Dr. Bart Ehrman. I want to talk about the Gospel of Peter. This was a 2nd century apocryphal text that was eventually disallowed by the church. It was considered to be heretical. It did not make it, obviously, into the New Testament. It claims to be authored by Simon Peter, who was obviously one of the highest apostles, or one of the closest apostles to Jesus, but probably was not written by him. But it's very similar to the gospel accounts, but it has some major differences, and one or two I want to point out. One is that it says when Jesus was on the cross, he was silent as if he had no pain, which suggests that he did not suffer, right? That seems to be what this text is saying. The other thing I want to mention is that when he died on the cross, he said, "My power, O power, you have left me behind." Now, I don't know what the original, whether this was this Greek, maybe Coptic. I don't know. A fragment was found, 100, 200 years ago of this text. It was a lost text that got rediscovered. In the Gospels, I forget which Gospels, maybe Mark and Luke, it says Elohi, Elohi, lama sabachthani, right? It's Aramaic. It's one of the very few Aramaic passages in the New Testament, in the Gospels, which is from the Psalms. I forget which psalm it is, but, my God, why have thou forsaken me? Whereas here it says, "My power, O power, you have left me behind." That's interesting difference. Anyway, that's all I have for now. Just to talk about how these texts, which were more Gnostic maybe, were not considered to be orthodox. They were not brought into the canon. They were considered to be heretical. And I've been comparing and talking about these in light of A Course in Miracles, which also seems to be a Gnostic text that did not that would not is not considered acceptable by mainstream Christians or fundamentalist or evangelical Christians would not and do not think that A Course in Miracles is a real teaching from Jesus. Whereas those of us who follow A Course in Miracles or take it seriously, find it to be very helpful for that aspect, especially which is the Gnostic aspect of it. And in the Course in Miracles, just to finish with this thought, Jesus did not suffer on the cross, right? And this is what this seems to be saying. That's why I brought it up, is it seems to be saying that Jesus did not suffer on the cross. Anyway, thanks for listening. See you soon. Bye-bye.